Hey bro, welcome back to another video. In this video I'm going to teach you how to make her obsessed with you. So there's that one girl that you've got your eye on that you really like, you have this huge crush on, and you're feeling this way about her, but for some reason she just isn't feeling the same way back. There's this friction, there's this feeling of almost animosity there. You're trying to flirt with her, you're trying to be friendly, you feel like you're doing all of the right things, but for some reason it isn't getting through, and you don't feel your feelings being reciprocated. This video is going to teach you how you can make those feelings reciprocated.
I did again?
Okay, so getting straight into it. The first thing I want you to do is be flirty, obviously, but there's a way to be flirty. You want to make sure that you're not doing it in an overbearing, creepy way. You have to be smooth and confident with her, right? So, as an example, to put this into context, into practice for you, right? Say, for example, you're sat next to her in class. You see her coming in to sit next to you, you pull open the chair for her to sit next to you, and as soon as she sits down, strike up a normal conversation. Treat her as if she's one of your boys. Hey, what are we up to this weekend? How's your weekend? Oh, okay, that's great, and then just ask her more questions. You shouldn't need to feel the need to tell her about yourself unless she asks about what you've been up to. When she asks what you've been up to, say as least as possible. You want to make sure that when you're talking to her, you say the least amount as possible, because the thing is, if you're anything like me, which you probably are if you're watching this video, the more you say, the more you're likely to say something that will mess you up. The more you're likely to say something dumb and stupid. So the less you say, especially on when you're in the flirting stage, you want to get her to talk as much as possible. And also by doing that, by you saying as little as possible, first of all, it'll keep some mystery and intrigue about you. You'll be having conversation with her weeks later and she'll be like, oh, how did I never know this about you? And be like, well, what can I say? I'm a mysterious guy. And you can say just smooth things like that, and you never need to give everything away immediately. You don't want to be an open book where people can just read you and instantly know everything about you. You want there to be a bit of development. You want people to build a relationship with you before they even know stuff about you, you know? And that is what makes you more interesting and more mysterious, when you have that intrigue, when there's things that are kept about you that you don't even want to give away just as easy like that people don't already know about you, you know? And that's what gives you more texture as a person, instead of, oh, everyone knows that this guy's like this, and yeah, whatever. Imagine being the guy that no one really knows anything about him. Why is he like that? No one really there's more mystery, there's more intrigue, people get curious. Now, again, you don't want to go too far with this and become the quiet kid that sits in the corner on his own. No, you still go out there and be social, but be a good listener. Don't be a good speaker. You can get to being a good speaker when you need to speak, but right now focus on listening, especially with women. When you're flirting with them, you want to show that you're a really good listener, and then when they ask you questions, just be as vague as possible. The next point that I have for you is I want you to be soft-spoken but in a masculine way. So what I mean by this is, when you're speaking to her, speak with conviction and speak with intention. Be confident about what you're saying. Don't speak like, well, I think this, but I'm not really sure. Maybe, but I don't know. I don't really know what I'm talking about. Maybe you should ask someone else. First of all, become proficient in what you're talking about. Know what you're talking about. Become knowledgeable in whatever you're talking about. Say, for example, she's talking about some situation that's going on in her life, and don't give advice unless you're 100% certain. Or even if you aren't 100% certain, act 100% certain. Because when you speak with certainty and intention, it comes across much more confident to her. But also be soft-spoken. Don't be stubborn and don't be like, oh, it's like this and this is the only way, blah, blah, blah. You want to set a level of... you want to speak to her calmly, you want to speak to her softly. Because when a girl feels like, hey, this guy can speak softly with me, usually he's like a bit of an arrogant and comedic guy that likes bantering around with his friends, but with me he can be soft. With me he can speak calmly. With me he can talk to me at like a pace that feels comfortable. Like, I'm going to put on a voice here for a second. Not right now, I'll tell you when I'm starting to do it. And that is how you should talk to your girl. Or how you should talk to the girl that you're trying to flirt with. Right? Hey. Notice my pace as well, by the way. Not just my voice, but my pace. My tonality and my pace. Hey, so what are we up to today? Oh. Okay. That sounds really interesting. Notice the volume of my voice. Whereas the way that I'm speaking to you right now, I'm speaking loud, I'm getting energetic, I'm speaking really fast, and I'm trying to get the points across to you in such a concise manner. And I'm not really taking time to like pronounce my words. I'm not taking time to actually think about what I'm saying. I'm not taking time to lengthen out what I'm trying to say. I don't seem as if I'm confident or comfortable in this moment, even though I am. But I don't need to translate that to you as much across as I would with a girl that I'm trying to flirt with. You want to feel comfortable and confident in the space and just take your time. Be that slow, not slow guy as in like dumb, dim guy, but slow in the sense of slow, confident, comfortable. Oh, okay. That's really interesting. You know, I never really thought about it like that. You know, actually, I read this thing where it was saying something along the lines of, if you do something like this, that might work. You see how like the tonality, the pace of my voice, and the volume of my voice is a lot softer. It's a lot, instead of going like hard on my words, like duh 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 ha ha ha, it's a lot more like, okay. It's a lot more flowy. It's like speaking in italics instead of bold. Do you think about it like that? When you put it in that context, I think maybe you might be able to understand it a bit better. It's quite a difficult skill to master, but just try to speak more softly with women. Don't be all boisterous, and like when you're speaking with your boys, you know you're going to be boisterous, you know you're going to be like banter, you're going to have jokes, you're going to speak however the fuck you want to, right? Even like swearing around girls, you don't constantly need to swear. Of course, when you're joking around, you can do whatever you want, but just speak softly, speak more relaxed, speak more comfortable, but still keep it masculine. And by masculine, I mean do it in a confident way. You're not in a timid of like, oh, but he did that. Oh, okay. You don't want to stutter, right? Have that confidence while you speak, but still speak softly. And the next point I have for you is I want you to lead with intention. So say, for example, you've set up a date, right? Or whatever. If you're in school, it's like break time and you're sitting, chilling with her, you say, hey, actually, you know what? Why don't we eat lunch together today? Come meet me at this table at this time. Or come, after you're done with your maths class, I'll come pick you up. What room is it? Like, I know I'm giving examples for school kids here, but again, this can be extrapolated out into whatever situation you're in. Say, for example, like I said, you set a date. Say, hey, I'm going to meet you here at this time. Or hey, I can come pick you up at this time. Just be ready, wear this. Lead with intention. Know what you're doing. Know where you're going. Take control. Don't be afraid to take control. This entire time you've been shunned and told, no, you can't take control. You don't know what you're doing. No, you've let your parents take control. You've let the school teachers take control. You've let everyone else in your life take control. Now it's your turn to take control. Because you need to be in the position in a relationship where you can take control and say, hey, we're going to do this at this time. Don't ask her questions like, oh, where do you want to go eat? What do you want to do? You can do that much later on when she's already your girlfriend. You can figure out her likes and stuff along the way. You can ask her those questions like while you're on a date. What do you actually usually like doing? Get more ideas during that time. But first, you lead. You say, oh, by the way, I really like this place. Do you want to come along with me? Hey, I'm thinking of going here tonight. It'll be good if you came with me, you know. Speak like that. Speak with more intention. Speak like you're a leader of your own life. Because you should be. Especially as a guy in self-improvement. The next point that I have for you is be the unmoving rock in her life and your own. You want to be an unmoving rock of stability. You want to be a rock that people can lean on, and also so that you yourself can lean on. You want to be so stable in your life and in your mental health and in your mindset that nothing scares you, nothing moves you, nothing makes you anxious. Imagine a girl coming to you and saying to you, I never see you scared. And then you can say, well, if you ever see me scared, that's when you know you should be scared. Imagine being able to have that level of stillness. However, imagine the opposite, which is probably the scenario that you're in right now. And you get jittery, you get scared, you get anxious over these things. And then she just gets the ick. She's like, what is this guy doing? These seem like such random bullshit little points, but they all matter to a girl, and whether or not she actually actively thinks about it or it's a subconscious thing, most of the time it's probably a subconscious thing. A girl could probably be watching this right now and be thinking, I don't really think like that. If a guy is anxious, a guy is anxious. But subtly it'll give her the ick. Subconsciously it'll give her the ick. You want to be still and handle situations with a lot more calm, and this doesn't mean stoicness. You can still be an emotional guy, you can still have a bit more sensitivity. You can still be emotional, but just have emotional intelligence in the sense of know when to display emotions, know when the right time is. Because sometimes you just need to be that unmoving rock, that place of stability in her life. Say, for example, she's venting to you, and then you react emotionally saying, oh, but that's so sad. Oh, it's okay. It'll be okay. Don't worry, I'm here. If you need me to ever talk about anything, I'm always here. Don't worry about it. Do you see the difference? You don't want to get all involved and then emotionally wound up over whatever she's saying, get really invested and be like, oh my god, that's so bad, I can't believe this happened. Oh no, oh. Don't worry about it, baby. It'll be okay. I'm sure you'll figure it out. You're a strong girl. Next point that I have for you, which is just I feel like I might need to mention it for some people out there, as bare minimums. Hygiene. Basic hygiene, bro. Brush your teeth. Put your deodorant on, shower, make sure you have a good cologne on, a good perfume, make sure you're smelling good, make sure you dress nice, put on a nice outfit, make sure your hair's washed, make sure your nails are cut. Girls like that's the very bare minimum. Girls like a nice, tidy, clean guy. And you don't want to be over OCD, too clean. Just be normal, be the nice in between of okay, this guy takes care of himself. Because a guy that can take care of himself, she'll start thinking, oh, okay, this guy can take care of himself. He can take care of me. Oh, this guy, he has standards for how he wants to keep himself. This guy respects himself. Whereas a guy that lets himself go is seen as more of a slob. The guy that lets himself go isn't as respected. The guy that just turns up in hoodies every day, he doesn't seem like he has anything going on for him. Whereas the guy that wears a shirt, the guy that... You don't even need to wear a shirt. You can just dress a bit more like you have something going on. Wear a nice t-shirt, put on some accessories, put on a nice watch, put on a chain, and then she'll start thinking, okay, this guy knows how to dress. This guy knows how to clean up well. You're always looking fresh, you're always looking sharp. You want to be that guy that, no matter what the occasion, you're always looking good. There's never going to be one time where she's going to be thinking, oh, he looks a bit weird today. Oh, he looks a bit mid today. Every single day, you want her to be thinking, he actually looks good. Who's this attractive guy trying to speak to me? You know? Bare minimum stuff. Now, this next part is for if you're already close with her. So say, for example, you've already been going on a few dates, but you're still not feeling that level of attraction. You're not still magnetizing, still not polarizing, still not connecting with her on that level. This is how you can break that next stage. Take the next step and take it further to get her just that little bit more into you. First of all, break the touch barrier if you haven't already. And how do you do this? It's literally as simple as, say for example, you're walking around in a place and you're trying to direct her in a direction. Instead of saying, oh, come here, you can just put your hand on her lower back, right? And just slightly, not like yeet, push her, but like slightly guide her in the direction that you want. And I don't know what it is about that lower back area, but girls go crazy for it. Just put your hand there and just gently push her in the direction that you want to go. Say, for example, you're like turning into a shop and you're saying, oh, let's go into the shop. And you put your hand there and turn her around to go in there. And you're like pointing into the shop. So she'll be like, oh, okay, we're going this way. And then she'll feel your touch and she'll be like, oh, okay. And it's more of like an inviting touch because it's almost like a hug, right? But you're doing it very subtly, very gently. And it's just, I don't know what it is about that spot, but it gets girls going crazy. Another way is like lower, not, I already said lower back, but like around that waist area. So that whole area basically on her body. Say for example, like, I don't know, you're sat next to each other watching a movie. You're at the movies. Put your arm around her shoulder, put your arm around her waist. Just pull her in a bit. If you're already there with her, she already wants you to do that. She's waiting for you to do that. So why haven't you yet? And I know it's scary. I know it's like, oh, but I'm so scared to touch her. What if I mess up? What if I do it wrong? What if my fingers and just do it. Because you're not gonna know how she's gonna react. You can guess and think and keep overthinking and guess whatever you want. This could happen, this could happen, this could happen. The world could blow up tomorrow. Who knows? You don't know until you take the action. Go and do it. You don't know how something's gonna taste until you try it. So why don't you try it first? Why don't you just make the move? You don't know how she's gonna react. And 9 times out of 10, if you're already on that level where you're going on a date with her and you're already out with her, she wants you to touch her. She wants you to break that physical barrier of contact. If she hasn't already done it for you, which by the way, you should be doing it first. She shouldn't be forcing you to break that. Just put your arm around her. Put your arm on her waist. Hips, waist, that area. And then, now this is a bit more for the advanced guys who have a bit more confidence. Neck. What I mean by this is like back of her neck. Say for example, you want to go in for a kiss, right? But she's in the middle of conversation, you don't know what to do, you're already really comfortable with her, you've already held her hand, you've already put your arm around her waist. What you can do is just okay, don't make this gay, right? Don't make this gay. You look over to her and you're like, hey, look here. And then she'll be like, what? And you reach your arm, gently, don't just go like that. Reach gently, so she can see what you're doing. Come very slow, so she's very aware of what you're doing. And put your hand there, and then pull her in, and then kiss her. Yeah, I'm giving you sauce here, boys. I'm giving you sauce. Or even if you're not even kissing her or anything, just touch generally makes them go crazy. You're sitting at a restaurant, you're just sitting next to her for whatever reason. Just put your hand on her thigh. Again, this is for the guys that have made it a bit further. Don't be doing this in class, when you've just started talking to her, you're just trying to flirt for her, and boom, you just put your hand on her thigh. No. You're already out on a date with her. This is next stage stuff, okay? Just before any guys get too creepy off of what I'm saying here, before they take me wrong. The next and final point that is another type of level of her being obsessed. I want you to be a living contradiction. Think about all the movies that you see where the girls are so obsessed with the guys. If you're an Indian guy and you watch Bollywood, or even if you're a white guy and you watch Bollywood, you would know exactly what I mean when I say be a living contradiction. Think about the movies where there's a rock star. He sings music, but also he looks buff and he looks cold and he looks proper hardcore, but he's singing love songs. That's the type of guy that girls go crazy for, and you want to know why? Because he's a living, walking contradiction. He looks tough. He looks like cold. He acts cold. He seems like a really mean guy, but then he's singing love songs. He's opening up his whole soul to the world through his art. Now, how can you take this, or elements of this, and add it to your own life? Be a gym freak that writes poetry. Be the fighter that sings. Find your art, because everyone has an art that they will love. whether that be poetry, singing, actual art, any sort of music, any sort of like anything that you can express yourself through. And then find the other side of that, which is something physical. Be a fighter, find a sport. Imagine the footballer that writes music on the side, or that writes stories on the side. Imagine that. How much depth you have to your character. As someone that's a living, walking, talking contradiction. It doesn't make any sense. How can such a rough and tough guy then be writing books and stories and like creating all these fictional imaginations in this book? And just being that sort of persona of person, I think that's something every guy should strive to be, because the depth of your character is insane. Now again, if this doesn't really sound like your type of thing, I don't think you've explored enough, because I think everyone has some sort of art within them that they just haven't realised yet. For me, it was poetry, but also kind of singing. I haven't really done much singing, but I used to sing like at school, because I couldn't play any instruments, so I was always like left with, oh, you have to sing. It actually turned out I was quite good at it. I got the highest grades in school for it, and I have no idea why. But apparently I was good, so who knows? Try and figure out what your strength is, what your thing that is a piece of art, and run with it. What really gets you going? I didn't even think I like writing, but I like writing poetry. But back in English class and like when I was back at school, I hated writing. I hated doing all this literature, language, whatever, and I just hated it. But then when I get a passion for something, when I start feeling in love, I just want to write. I want to write out of passion. I want to write messages of appreciation to the people that I love. But then also, I go to the gym. I do Muay Thai. I seem like such a rough and tough guy sometimes. People are like, oh, okay, this guy does Muay Thai, he goes to the gym. They see that side of me. They don't expect me to write poetry. They're like, oh, what the fuck, you write poetry? You can write? People don't expect that of me. And that's the whole idea. Because again, you're bringing out that mystery and that intrigue, where it always keeps them second guessing. They're like, wait, okay, I didn't expect that of you. What else is there about you that I don't know? Oh, don't worry about it, baby. You'll find out in time. She will become obsessed with you if you follow these things, and you will always be on her mind. She'll constantly think, oh, I remember the way he put his hand on my waist. It felt so good. No guy has ever touched me like that before. No guy has ever been confident enough to touch me like that before. You'll be running through her mind. She'll keep reliving that moment until you do it again. And she'll want it to happen again. So she'll keep trying to come see you. This is a girl who, by the way, you are going to need to build the connection with first. So this isn't about how to attract her, because you should have already been working on how to attract her. This is the next step of how to make her obsessed with you after attracting her. Just so we can make that clear. But follow these things, bro, and trust me, she'll be so obsessed with you that it'll be more of an issue than a good thing. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's just before you go, just a quick little thing. I've opened up a few spots for my coaching program, and it's one-to-one self-improvement coaching. Now, I want to be clear, I don't follow any ideologies or anything like the red pill or the blue pill or any of these stupid bullshit ideas that you see on the internet that's very popular within our self-improvement space of the manosphere and all of this. Oh, you have to be an alpha male, you have to do this, you have to do that. The Andrew Tate stuff, the Iman Gaji stuff, where you have to be like a businessman and this and that to attract a girl. You don't need any of that. I follow what I believe is right and what I believe the morals should be. Now, I'm not going to tell you, these are your morals, this is the morals that you should have. I'm going to ask you, what are your morals, and then how can you live as righteously to that as you possibly can. And that's how I help you with your self-improvement journey. I help you align your life to your morals. And that is the whole offer of my coaching program. If you're interested and you want to book a free consultation call, click the first link in the description. And you can join the waitlist, and if I think you're suitable, and I'll reach out to you, we can book a free 10-minute call, we can have a conversation, I can see where you're at. If there's anything specific that you need help with, let me know, and I can help you. Maybe there's a girl that you're attracted to, maybe you're trying to get her obsessed, maybe you want more in-depth advice of how you can maybe have your first kiss with her. Maybe how you can escalate it from just the first kiss to your first night together. Maybe you've got her in a relationship already, but it doesn't feel healthy. Whatever girl problems, whatever problem you have in your life, whether it's about gym, whether it's about your mental health, your physical health, your diet, your spiritual health, if you're struggling, I think I can help you. So, free consultation call, and one way or another, I can guarantee I'll help you, because I can give you advice within that consultation call. I can give you a little bit of direction, a little bit of a plan that'll get you started along the way. I hope you're interested, and I hope to see you there. But anyways, if not, I'll catch you in the next one, bro.